Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy, I'm here bringing you another video today, and today guys, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best units in Dragon Ball Legends currently in the month of June. I will update this list every single month, depending on how much the meta changes. If the meta doesn't really change and the top 5 units are still the top 5 units from last month, I'm not going to make an update for it. But if the meta does change and some characters get knocked down, some characters, whatever the case may be, I will make an update video for that, and I will talk about the new top 5 units of whatever month we're in. So apart from that though, let's get into this. We don't want to waste any more of your time. I'm going to try to make this video under 10 minutes if we have to. I don't want it to be any longer than 15 minutes, so we're going to try to get right into it. So let's go to our very first character, or our number 5 spot. Also, we will be using dbz.space for this entire video. legends.dbz.space. Go to the site. It's amazing. You can use it for any of the information that you need for Dragon Ball Legends, and it gives you a ton of information. It's made by Rimsey. I will have the link to the site down below. So this is Vegeta. Vegeta is the number 5 spot character on the list, sparking Vegeta. Vegeta is extremely good because he is a Saiyan character, so that means that he has the tag Saiyan. This means that he can be run on a Saiyan team, which is extremely meta right now. Probably the best team in the game currently, I want to say one of the best teams, and that's really good because it just gives him more synergy with Vegeta and makes Vegeta even better. So Vegeta, right now, these are his stats currently in the entire game, currently in the game. His level 1000 stats, these are it. And I want to say this real quick, is Vegeta's not a good point character. He's really not. If you can tell by his stats are a little bit below average if you kind of know the stats are like everybody else's. His strike defense and his blast defense and all that, and his health, it's not really all that compared to other characters. He's kind of on the low side, so he's pretty squishy. So I wouldn't recommend starting with Vegeta. I would recommend having Vegeta as like your second or third character, because you really don't want to use him as like your point character or your first character, because he can get taken out extremely easily. And yeah, you just don't want to use him like that. And you want to use Vegeta whenever he can get a opening, pretty much. So what makes Vegeta so good OP, apart from you just telling me? So let me tell you, Vegeta is really good for this reason. Prince Pride, this is his main ability. It gives him 50% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Requirements is 15 timer counts must elapse. So after 20 seconds, or not after 20 seconds, after 15 seconds, you'll be able to activate this ability, and it will buff him up to 50% blast damage. So it's going to increase his damage by a lot. He currently has the highest modifier, I think, to even buff himself up to blast damage. So what I mean by that is, he can buff himself up 50% blast damage, and currently there's no other unit in the game that can do that. So that's extremely good. And blast damage cards are really good because Ki Blast, you already know. Yeah, all you guys already know how annoying Ki Blast cards are. So yeah, this just makes him even better. Top of 2, this is Z ability. His Z ability at max rank will give him 25% to tag Saiyan base blast attack during battle. So this is going to buff up his blast attacks even more once you have the Z ability to max. If you don't have the Z ability to max, I think it starts with Z ability 2, right? I'm pretty sure everybody starts at Z ability 2, and you get 22% to tag Saiyan base blast attack during battle. Next is his unique ability, or his skill. This is the green card, anti-super warrior blast attack plus 20% to blast damage inflicted against tag super warrior. So anybody that has a super warrior tag in their the character details, I think Super Saiyan Goku, it may even be, I don't think Final Form Frieza has it, but anybody that has super warrior as their tag, he's going to instantly do 20% more blast damage to them. Gallic Gun is his special move that does major impact damage and gives him another plus 15% to own blast arts power for 15 timer counts. This will buff up his blast damage even more, and it will buff it up again. Next is his extra skill. This is his unlock key. This is his... Oh wait, my bad. I actually messed up. I messed up, my bad. His extra skill, or his extra, which is the unlock key form of attack, this is the green card. My bad. I was reading the unique ability, and for some reason I thought that was the green card. That's not the green card. This is the green card right here, or the skill card. Plus 15% to blast damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. My bad. I messed up. But this is his other skill card. Buffs up his damage by 15%. Really good. You can see that he's just a really good, he buffs himself up by so much, and he does so much blast damage. He's currently the best blast damage dealer in the game, so yeah, that's why he takes his number 5 spot. But I will say this, Vegeta is at the bottom of this list because there is a good chance that if another character comes out that's even better than Vegeta that can do even more blast damage or something like that, or does it even more damage just overall, then I will say Vegeta may get knocked out of this list. So keep that in mind. But yeah, number 5 goes to Vegeta. Number 4, we have Final Form Frieza. Recently just joined into the game with the Imperial Advent Summons. I think that's what it's called. With the new banner that's currently out. This guy's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. The only problem with Frieza, though, if you look at his stats and everything, his stats aren't really that bad and everything like that. But the only problem with him is that he doesn't have a team. Currently, Frieza doesn't fit into any team with anybody. He really doesn't. He doesn't fit with anybody. He doesn't have like a team that can really support him. You know, there's no King Cold, there's no Cooler in the game, there's nothing like that currently in the game. So you pretty much just have to try to make it work as best you can. But that doesn't really take away from the fact how good Frieza is, because once Frieza gets support, I could see Frieza being amazing, like top, like super top tier, more than he already is. So let's get into this. So Frieza's main strength comes from his set, or his skill set that he has, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But main ability, which is You're Going to Die. He draws the Ultimate's art card, Death Catastrophe, which next and then his requirement is 25 seconds must elapse. So what this means is it's kind of like Super Saiyan Goku, how Goku could activate his main ability and then he can draw his arts card, and it's also like Broly, how Broly can do it as well. So he's another unit that can do it, and it gives him Death Catastrophe. So this is really, really good. This thing, it does a ton of damage. It just does ridiculous damage. So it's like all the other ones pretty much. But yeah, it does stupid damage. Next, moving on to the Z ability, which is his 25% to element, yellow base strike, and blaze defense during battle. This is his, well, of course, what I just read, that was his max Z ability. Of course, this kind of buffs up his defenses and stuff like that, because if you actually look at his defenses right here, he actually has a pretty much on the low side defenses. I think actually Vegeta actually has more defenses than him. Yeah, he does. But, you know, don't really take that into account too much, because he will buff up his own defenses with his Z ability as well. So keep that in mind. Also, this is another thing that makes Frieza really good, because he's one of the first units that can buff up 2 different stats with his Z ability. So this is extremely good. Moving on from that, we have the unique ability, which is against Saiyan, or strike attack plus 20% to strike damage inflicted against tag Saiyan. Really good, really anti-meta. Remember, I keep talking about Vegeta and the Saiyan team. Frieza counters it super hard. Anti-Frieza Force, restriction, and inflicts damage up. This will make it to where you do 50% more damage to Frieza Force members. So anybody that has a Frieza Force, like the Ginyu Force and all that, and I think even Vegeta has Frieza Force, the Frieza Force tag. But the only problem with this skill, or this unique ability, is that the effect does not apply to another Frieza. So if you fight another Frieza, it's not going to apply to them. It only applies to other Frieza Force members, but not Frieza himself. Next is his special, which is Death Ball. Deals major explode damage and causes enemies to take 15% more strike damage for 15 counts. So use this, the enemy's going to be debuffed. They're going to take 15% more strike damage. Really good. Next is his extra skill. This is the thing that makes Frieza extremely good, which is telekinesis. You immobilize an enemy, not enemies, and cause the enemy to receive 15% more strike damage for 15 timer counts. So literally you can use telekinesis, which this is his green card or his skill card, whatever you want to call it. You literally use this, it freezes the enemy, and then you can combo this with a special, with a Ginyu body change, with anything, and you pretty much, it'll be guaranteed. To be honest, it's guaranteed. If you hit telekinesis on somebody, you can use a special on them from pretty much any character. You have enough time to switch out and then use like special beam cannon or a body change or anything like that, and it'll pretty much instantly like work. You have so much time whenever you get you use telekinesis on somebody. So this is what makes Frieza makes him extremely good. Next is his Death Catastrophe, or his ultimate special. This is what you draw from the ability that he has, the main ability. This deals major explode damage, nothing else. Just deals major explode damage. Most of the cards that draw a card or draw an art, that's all they do. They just deal major explode damage. So that is Frieza in all of his glory. Of course, once more stuff comes out, once he gets better like equipment, once he gets better, synergy with other teams and stuff like that. In my personal opinion, I feel like Frieza is just going to become even better. But for right now, at his base, he doesn't really have a lot of support, but he's still a really god tier character, and I recommend using him if you can get him. So yeah, try to summon for him, boys. Try to summon for him, or you see in the list who else to try to summon for. But yeah, that is final form Frieza. Moving on to our number 3 spot, Gohan. Gohan is extremely good because he is a hybrid Saiyan. The only problem with him though is that even though I did say he's good because he's a hybrid Saiyan, a lot of people was thinking that he was going to have the Saiyan tag. He doesn't. He has hybrid Saiyan, so he doesn't benefit from really being on the Saiyan team, but he still does benefit from very meta teams. And the reason why I say that is because we'll get into that in just a second. But these are his stats right here. You can see all of Gohan stats. A little bit on the low side in, I think, the blast attack. Yeah, he's kind of a little bit on the low side in the blast attack. And he's more of a striking damage dealer. He's kind of like the opposite of Vegeta. So you can see right here the Will to Fight, the main ability, plus 50% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Requirements is 15 timer counts must elapse. So this will buff up his strike damage. So any strike cards or anything like that, it will buff up his damage by 50% once he uses this main ability, and this will make him do an absolute ton of damage. So this is really good. Next is moving on to his Z ability, which the Z ability is Mixed Blood Saiyan's max base health during battle. So this will increase the max base health at Z ability 1 14% and a Z ability 4 at 20%. So if you can get him to max, you'll get 20% more health. Really good. His unique ability is Double Team Strike Attack plus 20% to strike damage inflicted when 3 members are left. This means that 3 people in your party will have to be left in order for him to get this buff. So as long as everybody's alive on your team, you'll be perfectly fine. Next is Avenge Piccolo Strike Attack plus. Whenever Piccolo dies, Gohan will buff himself up by 35% to strike damage when allied character, Piccolo is defeated. So this is really, really good. Next is special. This is special attack Masenko. Masenko deals major impact damage and plus 20% to own strike damage for 15 seconds. Really, really good. Just buffing him up even more. And then his extra skill, which is his green card or his skill, unlocks key form of attack plus 20% to own strike and blast damage for 20 counts. Now I will say this, the problem with Gohan is that he is a striking character. He is a strike character, so that means that you need to use characters that have the strike card in their, what do I want to call that, like the card bank or whatever. If you don't know what I mean, whenever you look at a character's details and you scroll down to the bottom, it will show you like 2 cards that they will give you, and those cards affect what you draw in the match and everything, or how frequently, or pretty much like the chance of you drawing something. And whenever you have that, it's really, you need support. Gohan needs a lot of strike cards in order for him to really be effective, because he's not going to do that much damage in blast attacks, but you really need to have like a team built around Gohan and built around that strike attack cards and everything. Piccolo, of course, is a really good option to pair him up with and all that. So yeah, and because it's a Piccolo, that's pretty much all for Gohan. He's number 3 character. Once he gets more support, we get hybrid Saiyan support and all that other stuff, Gohan's gonna be probably like amazing. But for right now, he's still good. But once he gets more support, like a lot of these units, he's gonna be amazing. Moving on from that though, so we said Piccolo, number 2 spot, Piccolo. Piccolo is amazing in this game. Piccolo is currently the best tank in the entire game. You can look at his stats right here and they're monstrous. Look at these defenses, look at his health. They're absolutely insane. And he just adds on to it with his kit. So the only problem with Piccolo is he doesn't fit into any team, but at the same time he fits into every team. Because you may be like, OP, what does that even mean? He doesn't fit into any team because he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have like a Namekian team or anything like that currently in the game. There's no like team that buffs him up. But he's literally the best tank. He's the universal. I want to call him like a universal tank. You can throw him on any team and he'll pretty much do you wonders. Also, Piccolo is a free character you get. You get Piccolo after you get your Z level to, I'm not for sure what it is, but I know the Z level thing goes to Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, then Pan. So Piccolo is the 3rd character you unlock from the Z levels. So once you get Piccolo it's just gonna do you wonders. He's amazing. So these are his stats right here. His main ability, Demon Willpower. This will restore allies' health by 25% and cures abnormal conditions. Requirements: 15 timer counts must elapse. Remember how I said, or you know how I just said allies? Maybe OP. Why did you say allies and not ally? Well, allies. What I mean by that is because Piccolo, from what I've seen of Piccolo, gameplay of Piccolo, whenever someone is injured on the team and you use his main ability, and two characters are injured, it heals them both. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just like a typo in the main ability, but whenever I see people use Piccolo, even whenever I fight up against him in PvP, and whenever I damage somebody, then they switch into Piccolo, or I damage two of the characters and they switch Piccolo in, and they use his main ability, both of those characters regen health. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just a typo, but from what I can understand, both those characters regenerate health, or I'm seeing things. One of the two. It could be I'm seeing things though, because I've been kind of going a little bit crazy lately. But apart from that, Z ability right here is Elemental Green base strike defense up during battle. So this will increase your strike defense during battle, making him even tankier to strike defense opponents or strike attack opponents. So this is really, really good. Also, you know, at max he will have 25% more strike defense to all green characters too, all green characters that are on your team. Next is his unique ability. This is what makes Piccolo really good. This will reduce damage received by 50% until combo ends when changing cover, +2 to own substitution count when activated. So what this means is whenever you're in a combo, let's say if I'm using like Vegeta and you have like Gohan, and you hit me with a combo attack, like you hit me with a strike card, and then, you know, I get knocked back, and then you use another strike card, and you're literally flying to me, and you're about to start hitting me again. I can tap on Piccolo. Piccolo comes in, and then boom, he will start taking the damage. But pretty much you'll waste ki, because if I do that and you allow me to do that, Piccolo will receive 50% less damage until that combo ends. So whenever you see this to play against it, just whenever you see Piccolo get switched in, just stop damaging him, because the more than likely you're gonna do no damage to him. It's just gonna be a waste of ki while he's in that. Next, he has Anti-Saiyan Blast Attack Up. This will do 20% more blast damage inflicted against the tag Saiyan. This is really good because Piccolo's anti-meta. He's anti-meta. He does more damage to Saiyans. Saiyans are one of the best teams in the game currently. They're really meta. So he just makes it to where he does more damage to him. His special is Special Beam Cannon. It deals major pierce damage and causes enemies to receive 15% more blast damage for 15 timer counts. Now, Piccolo and Ginyu, from my understanding, is the only two characters in the entire game that has pierce damage on their special. If you don't know what pierce damage is, I'm pretty sure it ignores defense completely. And it will, because that's what it seems like. Whenever Piccolo uses Special Beam Cannon on literally anybody on my team, and he uses it, especially on a score sheet, it almost kills them. Like, most of the time, it pretty much almost one-shots them. And so I'm pretty sure pierce damage completely ignores defense, or it ignores a large amount of defense. So that's what pierce damage does. Currently, I think only him and Captain Ginyu have pierce damage, so this is really good. Next is his extra card, which is Unlock Key Form of Attack, plus 50% to strike and blast damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. This is really good because you can use this. Boom, he will give himself more strike and blast damage for 30 timer counts, which is good because Piccolo's he doesn't really do that much damage. He's really a tank, and he's just kind of like, you know, he's gonna be in the fight for a while if you switch into him. Like, it's gonna take you a while to kill him, more than likely, unless you have a Rising Rush. So that is Piccolo, currently the best tank in the game. Recommend you get him. I wouldn't recommend rerolling for him though, because he is a free unit, so there's no real point in rerolling for him. But hey, he is an extremely good unit. Moving on to the last unit, which is probably going to come at nobody's surprise, but coming at the #1 spot is Broly. Broly is insanely good in this game. For one, he's a Saiyan, so he benefits from a Saiyan team. But not only that, Broly has an extremely unique mechanic that we'll get into later that only he can do. In the game, only he can do this mechanic currently. So it's just stupid. It's stupid. But apart from that, let's get into it. So real quick, we'll look at his stats. These are his stats currently. Broly, the problem with Broly though is that he doesn't he doesn't really have a ton of support. Apart from being a Saiyan, he doesn't really benefit from anything else because he also is a movie character, and his Z ability actually buffs up movie characters, and for right now it's kind of useless because the only other movie character in the entire game is Piccolo, so it doesn't really help too much. But for right now, this is Broly, and you can see these are his stats right here. He's actually kind of he's a little bit tanky, but he does damage. In my opinion, he's definitely a damage dealer. So a lot of people want to say that Broly's more of like a tanky character, but in my personal opinion, I would consider Broly maybe like an off tank. He's kind of a tank that he's not really like super tanky, right? But in my opinion, like I say, he's an off tank. So what I mean by that is like he's a little bit tanky, so he can tank some hits, but he likes to do damage. That's what Broly likes to do, in my opinion. He likes to do damage. So let's get into this. Main ability, Say Goodnight. This allows him to draw an ultimate art card, the ultimate art card next. God, I can't talk. Gigantic Meteor. This will allow him to use, Gigantic Meteor, which is the ultimate special. You do have to wait 25 seconds though before you can activate this, and this will allow you to draw Gigantic Meteor. Gigantic Meteor just does major explode damage, nothing, special. Z ability right here, this is what I was talking about. This buffs up sagas from the movies, so any movie character, this will buff them up. So Piccolo, that's pretty much it. Base blast defense during battle, so this will buff up their blast defense, and yeah, that's it. Moving on from that though, unique ability is Intimidate, key recovery down. Causes enemies to have 15% or minus 15% key recovery for 15 timer counts every time character enters the battlefield. So what this means is Broly enters the battlefield instantly. I mean instantly. This man, or the enemy that you're facing, whether it be Goku, Piccolo, anybody, whoever you're facing, instantly has minus 15% key recovery. Extremely good. And also Fate Goku, strike attack up, plus 20% to own strike damage for 15 timer counts when faced with the enemy character Goku. This is really good because that means Broly can do more damage to Goku. There's a lot of Gokus running around, Super Saiyan Goku, Spirit Bomb Goku, and a lot of people are using those characters currently because pretty much they're free and you get them pretty early on in the game. So, hey, this guy right here, this man is already, you can see why he's already so good. His next is his special, which is Blaster Shell. Deals major explode damage, causes enemies to receive 15% more strike damage for 15 timer counts and 30% chance to inflict feint. The only other characters in the entire game that can inflict feint is Spirit Bomb Goku and Piccolo, so that is extremely good. It is a 30% chance though, so it is kind of low, and also it will buff up his strike damage, or buff up everybody's strike damage on the team, because it will allow the enemy to take 15% more strike damage for 15 seconds. Gigantic Claw is the ability that I was talking about. This is the ability that is completely unique to Broly. 15% to own key recovery for 20 timer counts, and it inflicts forced switching. This is extremely good because you use this card. This is his green card or his skill card. You use this, then boom, they are forced to switch, and it is amazing. Now, of course, you do have to hit them with it, but you can't just use it. But it does inflict forced switching, which is extremely good. He's the only character in the game that can do this, and it works. It makes Broly so overpowered. It's what makes Broly so overpowered in this game. And his ultimate special, like I said before, Gigantic Meteor, deals major explode damage. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. That is all the characters currently in the game in the top 5 for the month of June. Of course, if more characters come, whenever more characters come out and all that in July, and if they're any better than any of these characters, I will update this list. But for right now, these are your top 5 characters in the entire game. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If I did, drop a like, comment down below, subscribe for more, and I'm out, guys. Peace.